She's given duck. These are my favourite masks so far because they have a little jelly bit. That's like here. That like restricts all the air coming out. And gloves. Not necessarily for COVID, for other things. Got my negative COVID test. Even though I'm just going to Sainsbury's to get my medication that I forgot to get delivered because I'm a dickhead. I'm all fucking off. I am so annoyed. So I have tried to record this video 3 or 4 times, as you can tell by the state of my hair. Now, for some reason, I've just run out of memory, even though like I delete the videos once I record my vlogs. So I am limited to 10 minutes. That means I'm going to be talking at the speed of light, and I apologize in advance. So, hello, if you're new here, I'm Anusha, I'm a vlogger, apparently, and also did I say I'm a musician? I think I did, I can't remember. Right, so we are talking about me being sick. Right, so I released a zine in April. It was about the pandemic because I kind of got annoyed at just tweeting at people all the time because people would like her tweet but they won't really do anything. So a zine felt like a bit more of an accessible way to like tell people what people like, how we feel in this pandemic and like how we are coping, which, you know, newsflash, you want the TLDR, we're not. And it felt good, but a lot of people have received it and they've told me that they've liked it. But, you know, I still tweet because I think a small part of me is hopeful that something will change, even though I know it won't. But I'm not totally naive. Like, I grew up poor, I grew up black, I grew up as a minority, so I know what it's like to not be listened to and to be removed from public spaces. But what's happening right now to disabled people and also disabled people with multiple marginalizations, like if you're queer, if you're black, I don't know why I keep pointing at myself as if you can't see me, but sure. But a lot of the times people will want you removed from public space to make themselves feel better and to not have their reality realized. We, you know, think about teenagers and ASBOs. Who did that affect mostly? Think about back in the day. I don't know if you know this, but people who like were had amputated legs or had like one arm or whatever, would get removed from society because they were ugly, and in the law it was like, we've got to remove these ugly people to maintain the sanctity of the public space. And this was something called Ugly Laws. There's a whole book on it, which I've not gotten the whole way through, but it is a really interesting read because it talks about how often when there is societal unrest or we're facing an economic crisis, people will remove those who are deemed as ugly. So that could be homeless, disabled, sick, which, you know, that sometimes coincides, anything really, just remove them from public spaces in order to, again, prove that nothing is wrong. And we're also seeing that with the trans laws that are being passed in the US and sort of over here, where they are starting to claim that people who are trans have autism or learning disabilities. And again, it's that same thing of, if I prove that you are insane or prove that you are some form of ugly, and I don't mean face ugly, but I mean like ugly in societal terms, but you know what I mean, then I can remove you from public spaces and make myself feel better. And yeah, especially when it comes to COVID, a lot of people assume that they're just ignoring people who are COVID conscious, but that mentality is going into law. Like in the New York City, Eric Adams has said that he wants to start criminalizing people who are wearing masks. So it's not just like ignoring disabled people. Like, you're doing so much more. But stuff like just what's going on in the outer world, like personally, I've had people call me hyperbolic or say I'm exaggerating when I say that we are in dark times, especially when it pertains to COVID, because they just think everything is normal. This is living with COVID, right? But I honestly think that they are, some of them anyway, are hiding sickness or are just completely unaware of what's happening, because it's not normal to be sick every 2 to 4 months with maybe COVID. And then on top of that, you've got people applying for disability at massive rates. And mind you, 39% of them will get it, the rest won't. Waiting for the NHS to catch up or to care about you being sick. Yeah, that's not really gonna happen anytime soon. But ultimately, people want to go back to normal. They want their social and cultural capital, because if they are seen as caring for disabled people, i.e. being accessible, i.e. maybe, I don't know, wearing a N95 mask or an FFP2, because if you're in England, then you lose that social capital, because people see you as sick, they see you as immunocompromised, and they don't want to hang out with you because it might be something that they could catch. And so what they do instead is that they put on these labels to say that, oh, you're insane, oh, you're, you know, we want to care about your mental health, but ultimately, like, we have to remove you from public space because you're doing too much, because you're ruining our fun. And that's something called Sanism. If you don't know what Sanism is, then Health Communism or Death Panel, if books aren't the most accessible to you, are an amazing resource to look that up in. But it's this whole framework that if you kind of class people as mad, as sick, as ugly, it becomes easier to police them. It becomes socially acceptable to tell them how they should live, like to tell you that you should just go outside and accept getting sick, or you should accept that, oh well, you should go outside and if you die, oh well, it's just the acceptable way to die, right? I don't think I'm gonna give in to that. Like, I don't really care if people see me as sick, because I am sick. What I am finding is that it does suck that I have lost so many friends due to this. And it kind of reminds me of when I had an eating disorder when I was like younger. And trigger warnings for eating disorders. But I had an eating disorder from a botched surgery on my mouth, so I couldn't swallow food. And initially I was like the token black disabled friend. So people would parade my body around school as in like, look how skinny she is, look how pretty she is. Especially in assembly in front of all of my friends, because they wanted to project their sort of idea of what an able body is onto me. And then when I got sicker and when I actually started asking for help because I realized something was wrong, which I'm proud of myself for actually, they discarded me because they were like, oh, you're actually sick, oh, we don't want to hang out with you. It was only, funny enough, my more marginalized friends that would feed me and that would help me out because they saw that I was sick. And this kind of what I'm seeing now, but 10 times worse, because it's not something that with a few workshops that I could work through. It's everybody. It's affecting the whole world, and it is scaring me. It is scaring the hose. I am the hose and I am scared. Now we are being gaslit. We are being gaslit about COVID. We are being told that we are losing it or we are pedantic. I actually got called that by my old roommate. They're never gonna watch this. But I got called that by my own roommate. I don't think they thought they could hear me, but they could. I could, sorry. And it made me really sad because me caring about my health was pedantic. even though, to be quite honest, I was also caring about their health as well, but whatever. I think what is scaring me is like, when's the end point? At what point are people going to realize? It's probably going to be when it's too late. Thank you, Fridge, for interrupting me. I do wonder, do you want to lose disabled art? What if you never saw me again? Would you care? I don't know. I don't know. You're gonna lose disabled art. You're gonna lose disabled opinions, which you do rely on more than you think you do, because during 2020, disabled people were front and center because you were asking us, how do we get through a pandemic? And we are still telling you the same things we were saying in 2020, but you're just not listening to us anymore. But yeah, this is why I'm mad. Like, I have so much to be hyperbolic about. And to be quite, another quick personal story, because it is a vlog. I am so sick right now, but I have avoided going to accident and emergency A&E because of COVID and because of other things as well. And I now can't sing like I used to, which is scaring me a little bit, because all I do is music. And I don't know how I'm gonna get to 30 if I can't sing anymore. I'm not gonna cry. All I'm gonna say is I've got a zine out. It's called The Burden Zine. Please get it. It is going to be online for about £7, and then delivery, or you can get an online version, which will be £2 or £3, depending on where you get it. And yeah, I've got a song called Burden that's going to be out at some point in the future, and that's all I've got for now. But thank you for watching this video. Thank you for bearing with me, because technology was not on my side today, but I got everything out that I think I could. Just know that they are criminalizing people who care about not getting sick, and if you say that we're insane, or you think we're hyperbolic or exaggerating, just see what happens, because that might end up being you.